Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our new podcast. This is called 8998 here at the Pro Wrestling Archives. We're going to talk about the years 1989 and 1998. I'm here with Alan Fenstermaker. My name is Rick Reinhardt.
Hey, what's up? We're coming to you live from Cumberland Farms parking lot in Woodstock.
We may be in Woodstock, but our heart is always in the underground Philadelphia wrestling community, and we are here to rock the motherfucking house. 89-98. We're going to talk about the year 1989. First off, the Royal Rumble was held in Houston, Texas that year. What can you tell us about the year 1998, Alan?
Well, in 1998, that was a good year for pro wrestling. I know, that was the first year that Stone Cold Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
And then he got into a feud with DX and Mike Tyson.
Oh, that was the Tyson shit.
Yeah, which the whole thing was going on between DX and Mike Tyson joining DX, and Shawn Michaels was part of DX at the time, and then WrestleMania came around, and Iron Mike Tyson, actually, he ended up clocking out Shawn Michaels, and then Stone Cold won the title. So yeah, that was the first title run of Stone Cold Steve Austin as the champion over at WrestleMania in 1998.
You know what I'll say about that is Austin 316 might have started at the King of the Ring, but when he won that title, that was the equivalent to Hulkamania in the Attitude Era, so-called Attitude Era.
And then also in that year too, that's when Kane won the title from Stone Cold, like at the in the first blood match.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a short 24-hour win where Kane and Stone Cold went at it. But what happened was the Undertaker came out with a chair and busted Stone Cold open. And but the thing is too, like, Kane would be very hard to beat in a first blood match, mainly because he had the mask on and he had the full sleeves. So like, it would be very rare to see Kane actually bleed. But then like, Stone Cold did win it back the next night on Raw.
The year 1989, that was also WrestleMania 5, Hogan Savage. By the time the Survivor Series came around, there was a different feud going on between the Hulkamaniacs and DiBiase's crew. So you could see that in Survivor Series of that year. My boys Demolition were on the Hulkamaniac side.
And then what else happened that year? Oh yeah, that's the same year too. That
What, 98?
Yeah, 98. Back in 98 too. Like you also had at the Survivor Series, the tournament for the WWF title, because what happened was back in that September, you had first off you had the Undertaker versus Kane.
Wow.
For the title. But then, like, actually, wait, no, it was kind of confusing because you had this big thing, Undertaker, Kane, Stone Cold. Like, I know, like, one was the Undertaker and Kane versus Stone Cold in a triple threat match, where, like,
I remember that.
Vince McMahon set a stipulation where, like, Kane could not pin the Undertaker, or the Undertaker could not pin Kane, but either of them could pin Stone Cold. But what happened was they both pinned him at the same time, so that because neither of them could decide on who the champ would be. But then after that happened, Vince McMahon came out, he grabbed the belt, and he ran off with it, and it was Stone Cold Smoking Skull belt. But then, like, there was no champ. So what ended up happening was they set up at the next month on pay-per-view, Undertaker versus Kane with Stone Cold as a special referee. And like, Vince made a stipulation, if Stone Cold did not count 1, 2, 3 on either the Undertaker or Kane, that Stone Cold would be fired on the spot, which then he was. But then what ended up happening is, like, later on the next night on Raw, then Shane McMahon ended up signing Stone Cold to a new contract, which Stone Cold got in the Survivor Series. But what ended up happening is Vince screwed Stone Cold. So again, screwed at the Survivor Series by Vince McMahon. And then odds on it were you were thinking Mankind would win in the thing with The Rock, and then The Rock ended up pulling out the victory and winning the WWF title at Survivor Series 1998, leading up to the Rock Bottom pay-per-view later on the next month.
Is that where he won the belt?
Yeah, The Rock won at 1998 Survivor Series.
That's right.
Yeah,
that same year.
And then
Wow, what a year.
Yeah, and then after The Rock won, that was The Rock's first title win. And then, like, you had the Rock Bottom pay-per-view where you had The Rock versus Mankind. And then starting their feud, The Rock versus Mankind, which is kind of funny, too, because later on, a couple years later, you had the Rock and Sock connection, Mankind and The Rock.
That is true. And I just to go back a little bit on Mick Foley here, because we haven't really talked a lot about him. Mick Foley, we saw come up in the Philly wrestling scene when we were kids. So, I mean, I remember the old Tri-State shows with him. I remember, just seeing him around at, like, when NWA would come through. I mean, it's crazy to see what Mick Foley has done in his wrestling career. Now, back to 89. Of course, I got to give a shout-out to some of these squash matches I'm seeing from 89 with Akeem. Akeem is just wrecking motherfuckers. That dude is vicious, dude. Bring back Akeem. Let him be the WWE World Champion in 2020.
Wow. Yeah, that would be something to see Akeem come back, or someone like, or not, or even that if someone came back like in the same type of role as Akeem, like, yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Is there anything else you want to say about 98?
That's pretty much about it. Except I know Stone Cold had also had at the Rock Bottom pay-per-view. He had a matchup with The Undertaker, which is a Buried Alive match, which Stone Cold won to set him up for like the upcoming year, which where he ended up winning the title again, but from The Rock. But that's all. That's pretty much all in 1998 in a nutshell.
Well, you know what I'll say real quick about 89 before we wrap this up is the rise of the Ultimate Warrior was definitely in progress at that time. And being a youngster at some of them shows back then, Ultimate Warrior was definitely the fucking man. Because Hogan would do his thing, and we got, I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking for myself because I'm a Warrior guy, but the Hogan stuff would get played out eventually because he'd be dancing around the ring for 20 minutes after he won the match. Warrior just came in and kicked some ass and got the hell out of there, you know what I mean? So the rise of the Ultimate Warrior was happening in 89, and how about this? The next podcast we will do, it will be 90-99.
Wow, yeah.
And then we'll compare the two epic heights of pro wrestling, because those are the 2 years, 90 and 99.
Yeah.
Cool. So thanks for listening. This is just our new experimental idea here at the Pro Wrestling Archives. 89, 98. Akeem is a motherfucking wrecking one-man gang crew. Motherfucker. Peace.